And in terms of products also, look for some of the cusps. And by cusps, I mean intersections of two different industries. You know, if you hold IT in the middle, IT intersects with lots of different industries. For instance, travel and tourism, you can look at the cusp of travel and IT. You know, Kayak, for instance, TripAdvisor, these are businesses that have developed at the cusp of travel and IT. How about a vertical search engine for Ayurvedic treatments? That is a business idea at the cusp of IT and travel. Is anybody doing anything at the cusp of IT and travel in this room? No. Well, there's some stuff that you need to look at as possible opportunities. So, I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about 1 million by 1 million and what we are doing and how we can work with you, and we are, you know, we have capacity. That scale is something that we have developed. As you heard, we are working as a global virtual incubator headquartered in Silicon Valley, but we literally work with entrepreneurs all over the world. And our mission is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million+ in annual revenue by 2020. We leverage the internet. This is a classic online education business model. We leverage the internet to educate and incubate entrepreneurs around the world. We have these online video conferencing strategy roundtables. Has anybody attended a one-on-one strategy roundtable? Nobody. Well, those are free roundtables where you can get mentoring over video conference. It's a WebEx call. You know what WebEx is, yes? You can basically dial in to this call over WebEx and you can pitch your business and discuss your business with me from literally anywhere in the world, so anywhere in Kerala. And it's free. These sessions are free. We have done 145 of these sessions so far. And literally, entrepreneurs from all over the world are using these. Every day I'm fascinated by what we see. Last session there was somebody from Bulgaria. And he said there are a bunch of people in Bulgaria who are following the program. And we've had people from Iceland, we've had people from Africa, we've had people from all over Southeast Asia. India, of course, we're very big in India. And it's starting. It's great to see that it's Silicon Valley's tribal knowledge, and it's bothered me for a long time, very much. Silicon Valley is an elite club. It's like a bit of a mafia. And you need tracks into this, the inner circle of Silicon Valley to get into this elite mafia. I had access because I went to MIT and we have 10,000 alumni in the Bay Area. I was able to navigate this, but I observed that it's not something that people can crack that easily. Well, we decided that was going to be one of the missions of 1M1M. We're going to give people access. We have a great network in Silicon Valley, so we can connect you if you have compelling ideas, compelling business. We will be able to connect you directly into Silicon Valley through our network. And we mentor entrepreneurs online from Silicon Valley. It is a scalable model for entrepreneurship development, and that scalability factor has been very important for me. You see, I did computer science and economics for my undergraduate. Developmental economics growing up in Calcutta was always a dominant thought process in my psychology. And then I did my master's work, actually both bachelor's thesis and master's thesis in computer science, in scalable system design, in parallel and distributed computing. So the notion of scalable system design was also very dominant in my thought process. I brought those two together, and what we are doing with 1M1M is a scalable economic development and entrepreneurship development project. Except doing it as an entrepreneur, because that's the only thing I know how to do, really. I don't really know how to run non-profits. I don't really know how to go knock on the doors of foundations and raise grant money and all these things. It's just not my core competency. So the path that I travel on a daily basis is the path that those of you who are practicing entrepreneurs in the audience, this is the path that you travel, and those of you who are aspiring entrepreneurs in the audience, you will be traveling. It is a very hard path. It takes tremendous amount of resilience, tremendous amount of nerve. There are a lot of no's in the process before a yes shows up. And I have to acquire customers. I have to to generate revenues. I have to meet payroll. All this is very stressful. Entrepreneurship is not for sissies. A lot of people think they're going to be entrepreneurs, but they don't make it because it's too hard. So I'm not going to sell you on a concept that is not easy. But since you're here, I assume that you have thought at least a little bit about how hard this path ahead is and are still willing to move forward. So it is completely worth it. There's no question that it's completely worth it. And when you start seeing success, when you start seeing happy, satisfied customers, it's incredibly rewarding. So that's, that's what we're doing with 1&1. And so far, our focus is IT and IT-enabled services. What we would like to do, we have members from MIT, Stanford, the IIT. I hear Indian entrepreneurs complain all the time that, oh, the IIT graduates get all the attention and all the, TLC, tender love and care from incubators and investors and mentors and so forth. Well, we don't care. One of the missions of 1&1 is to democratize entrepreneurship education and incubator. I don't care whether you're from MIT or Stanford or IIT or wherever. As long as you're an entrepreneur, a serious entrepreneur who's willing to do the work, we'll work with you. You will get exactly the same training that our IIT or MIT members get. And you basically can get access to the same 1&1 program. So that democratization is a critical mission of our program. And our philosophy is bootstrapping. So you will hear this a lot in the media, that entrepreneurship equals financing. This is a myth. Entrepreneurship does not equal financing. And we strictly emphasize on that fact that less than 1% of entrepreneurs who go out to seek financing actually succeed in raising financing. Most businesses are not fundable. The venture model does not fit most businesses. Most entrepreneurs work on niche ideas. These companies are going to become $5 million, $10 million, $20 million a year companies. And in my opinion, those are very successful businesses. In the opinion of a venture capitalist, that is a failure. You build a $5 million, $10 million, $20 million, highly profitable business in the books of a venture capitalist, you're still a failure because you have not built a $500 million, billion business, because that's their model. That's, in my opinion, that's not a scalable model. Very few entrepreneurs can build billion-dollar businesses. Very few ideas exist that have the framework to build a billion-dollar business. So venture capital is not the solution. So that's something that you should keep in mind. Entrepreneurship is customers, revenues, and profits. Financing is optional. Remember this. It's actually a profound statement which you'll come to realize as you travel down this path. What can we do in Kerala? My hope is we can work with you to really seriously groom 1,000 entrepreneurs, each to generate $1 million plus in annual revenue and $1 billion in GDP by 2020. This is what I would like to focus on in a very serious, hands-on way and help your IT industry building process. And we'll create deep ties for you in Silicon Valley. We'll create a pipeline of entrepreneurs and catering to the global market. Today's market is not the United States only. The global market has opened up. You can cater to Latin America, you can cater to Africa, you can cater to Eastern Europe. In short order, hopefully in this room, we can find 100 entrepreneurs whom we can start working with and developing down this path, and it will take us a little longer perhaps to generate 1,000. This afternoon, we're going to find 6 of you. And I believe Thai Kerala has raised sponsorship to put 6 entrepreneurs from Kerala through the 1&1 program through a scholarship. So we're going to run a contest this afternoon and find 6 of you to bring into the program. And hopefully we'll scale to 1,000 by 2020. Let's get started. So we have some time for Q&A.
I've been informed that we have about 10 minutes for Q&A. So I have a request, is that if there are queries which are general in nature, which deal with entrepreneurship, about and the general theme of this icon, please raise them here. If you have specific questions about 1M, and SRAMANA's business proposition, I suggest that be taken up separately. It will be much more valuable if you have this as one-on-one with her immediately after the session. So please keep the questions general. And please keep the questions brief, because we have only 10 minutes, so that we will give as many people as possible the opportunity to interact. Thank you.
While you're thinking about your questions, Rajesh, maybe you can collect cards. We'll raffle off 2 books. These are my Bill in India 2020 books. It has $45 billion business ideas. You're welcome to steal any of them. Yes. Do you have a microphone over there?
Thank you. A request to thank all. You are talking about how can we build or become a state as a Malaysia or a Singapore. There is one thing is keep on bothering from the last few years in my mind, is that see, the problem in all the states here, entrepreneurs, they have their own ideas and to change the world. But we don't have a proper mechanism to contribute at state level or a government level to take our input and to become a reality in the policy, in the terms of policy in the government. So whether TICON can have assume that can be taken an initiative, all entrepreneurs' ideas can put, or the energy can be contributed to the state development by discussing with the ministers. A body, a selected body can be a welcoming body for the state government to contribute our ideas. And even though the entrepreneurs can contribute wealth in terms of money, example like 2 million people in the state, assume that every day all entrepreneurs are putting 1 rupee as a contributor to the TICON. And collecting this 2 million into 1 into 30, and bi-monthly we are contributing this funding to the society.
Let me summarize. I think that
Thank you.
should give other people a chance. I think he's asking how do entrepreneurs contribute at the policy level. Would you like to take that?
Thai Kerala has actually already taken some steps in that direction under the leadership of President John K. Paul. Several high-level interactions have been arranged, and as a result, Thai Kerala has played a fairly major role in certain specific segments of the Emerging Kerala event. At the request of the government, a workshop for entrepreneurship was conducted at Trivandrum, which involved various department heads from government as well as entrepreneurs and Thai members. And flowing from that workshop, which was a full-day workshop, a round table on entrepreneurship was conducted during the Emerging Kerala event. And I think there are several other steps which are now contemplated, including setting up of an oversight body which will have equal members from Thai and from the government of Kerala to see that plans and programs that are decided on during such events are actually implemented. So I think we are getting there in terms of the government is beginning to realize that the inputs from Thai, Kerala and Thai Global are significant and important. And so I think if you become a member of Thai Kerala, you will find a platform in which your voice will be heard and good ideas will get to the concerned people. Thank you.
Somebody over here needs a microphone.
Actually,
he has a microphone.
So I have a question for you. So you talked about a positioning. Right? So how the social media is helping creating position in today's market?
Social media does not help create positioning. Social media, you have to create the positioning and then markets according to that positioning using social media. Social media is a channel for marketing. The positioning has to be created before you decide which channel to pursue for marketing. Question?
I have a question on, it's very general, but then I would like to hear from you in terms of what is the time frame you say the company would take to reach the 1 million mark, and what are the key ingredients according to you which would hasten the reach?
Okay. So we're seeing different flavors of that. The answer to your question can come in many different flavors. If you're a company that has to bootstrap your way to that number, depending on what you're selling and at what price point you're selling, that drives the pace of growth. If you're a company that has that hockey stick effect, that fits the investment model, venture model, then it's going to go faster. Because you can actually raise money and accelerate that growth and spend the money required in marketing. So there are different phases of growth. The slower growth companies don't fit the VC model. But it's okay, even if it takes you 4 or 5 years, 6 years to get to $1 million in revenue, especially if you're in an Indian cost structure or a Malaysian cost structure, those can be very profitable companies even along the way. If you're working in the US, let's say it takes you, I have a company that's probably going to be $1 million in 3 years. That's not bad, right? Bootstrap company with no outside financing, completely self-generated, profitable company. That's a very nice rate, don't you think? Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, this support services for entrepreneurs like accounting and legal services. Where can I get help on in terms of accounting and legal services? And
Thai, I'm sure, can help you with that.
how do I approach it? How do I approach it?
You should go to the Thai information booth and navigate Thai. Thai should be very easy to navigate. Thai is a great website, contacts and everything. So Thai is not difficult to navigate.
One question, 2 parts. What's your revenue model for 1M1M? And the second one is, what is it that you do different from what Thais do?
Sure. So revenue model for 1M1M is $1,000 annual membership fee for unlimited access to everything that we provide. We have the most comprehensive curriculum for early stage startup development in IT and IT-enabled services. Since 2006, we developed case studies, and today we have over 600 case studies of successful entrepreneurs in this area. And since 2008, we've been doing these online mentoring sessions. We have had over 10,000 people participate in these sessions. And we have a tremendous understanding of what are the common questions and issues that early stage entrepreneurs face. So we've triangulated those two, how the successful entrepreneurs have solved those issues and what those issues are, and created a curriculum that's very efficient. If you have about 150 hours of curriculum, it's not 1,500 hours of curriculum, it's 150 hours of curriculum, and we teach it in 2 blocks. The core curriculum is bootstrapping, positioning, financing, market sizing, team building, customer validation, customer acquisition. And then we have elective modules where we have a lot of trends right now where entrepreneurs are working. E-commerce, for instance. We have elective curriculum around e-commerce. Cloud computing is big. Online education. So we have basically taken that, and that is what makes it scalable. Thai's model is a mentoring network. Right? Thai has charter members who are supposed to be mentoring the entrepreneurs. This is not a scalable model. If you study where Thai has hit limitations is in that mentoring network. And the problem is, in Thai, the ones who are really active mentors are the ones who are interested in investing. The angel investors do really active mentoring in Thai. Unless they have that interest, they're not really interested in mentoring people. And the people who, the mentors, the good mentors are willing to mentor, have to be quite far along before they can even qualify for investment. investment. So if you look at the early stage, from concept to concept validation to some level where there is actually real interest from mentors/investors, that part nobody is working on. None of the incubators are working on this part either. In Y Combinator and all, they all work on companies that have to be fundable. Now there's a long path before fundability. And the second thing is, as I said earlier, we believe that over 99%, and we know this statistically, over 99% of the businesses are not fundable. It should not be funded. If you fund something that is going to only be a $5 million company, you're just setting it up for failure. You're trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. What about those companies, the bootstrap businesses, the businesses that are going to be cash businesses? They're going to be profitable, sustainable businesses, but they're not going to be fundable businesses. Who is going to mentor those? So we cover that entire spectrum. So the way I put it is the other 99% entrepreneurs need to be worked on, and we cover the entire 100% of the entrepreneurship spectrum right now within IT and IT-enabled services only.
Is that kind of question? Basically, I went to a video conference with our sample product, and he talked about products that are specific for India, as in the Akash tablet, 3,000 rupees, and it's cheaper, so you can scale it globally. So what's your take on it? Is there a market for such products where you can take cheap things from here and scale it globally?
Most certainly. There's a tremendous software as a service industry that is developing out of India, product companies that are taking concepts that have succeeded in the United States. Have you heard of Salesforce.com? This is a multi-billion-dollar company, and there's a company out of Chennai called Zoho that has taken that concept, cut the price 6 times, at 1/6 of the price of the Salesforce.com product. They are selling that product. Entire development, everything is done in Chennai. Company's already over $100 million. So yes. The answer is absolutely a resounding yes. Yes?
I'm Niranj from Goldman Technologies. You just said about India moving out of the market, which is true also.
Price out of the market.
Price target.
Price out.
So, on the contrary, when you look into the Kerala market, say what we are trying to achieve is the same level of billing at one point of time. So how will you, this is a contradiction basically, say you want to grow at the same time, you want to sustain the market. How will you do that? Say you want to keep the prices the same, but you want to grow.
You don't have to keep the prices the same. Positioning, pricing is a key piece of positioning. So one of the ways you can position is 30% lower than the price at which Bangalore is positioning or Delhi is positioning. And that will give you a positioning in the market. It will give you a reason for customers to look at you. Make sense?
Can I have time for one more question?
Yeah.
I think that will have to be probably the last question. We have a we can have one more question so that it will.
Yes, I run a small web service offering web services. So you said about IT, you are focusing more on IT and ITES. What's the best model to work with? Like, see, there are a lot of traditional businesses out there in Kerala. When it leverages the power of internet, it will grow exponentially. And you're suggesting some options which we can service the global businesses.
Yeah.
What's the best model to work with? Help the Kerala traditional businesses to leverage the power of internet for a company like us, a small company like us, which is the best model to work with. We are facing problems like when we have to deal with the traditional businesses. It is difficult to win the people's opinion, like the IT paid person's opinion. It is difficult because they don't understand most of the IT and ITES terms and things.
The most important thing in selling anything is return on investment. If you're trying to sell something to someone, you have to explain to them how they are going to make money based on that investment. So if they're going to spend, I don't know, whatever, 20,000 rupees or 2 lakh rupees with you, you have to show them how they're going to make 20 lakhs out of that.